Hey guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, we're going to be doing this look together, which I'm super excited. I'm going to be going step by step, kind of like a get ready with me style video. And this video is super exciting because we're going to be testing out some new makeup together. We're also going to be doing a look with this palette here that I had a hard time picking up again, I must say, but I know that Mel did a great job on this palette and it's an amazing palette. We're going to be doing an eye look, which is this eye look with the Tiny Marvels palette. This is going to be restocked on Sydney Grace as of today. I'll be putting all of the information on the restock in the description box. So if you haven't ordered this palette yet, it's a great idea to order it. It's going to be some portion of the profits that'll be going to benefit Mel's family, so that's awesome. This video is also super exciting because it is in collaboration, not with Harvey. Harvey just wants to be here to say a quick hello. But it is also in collaboration with my friend Tara Lynn here on YouTube. Tara is also a beauty creator, just like myself. She reviews high-end and luxury makeup just like myself. And before I go on and on about how much I love Tara, I'm going to just put him down here because he also wants to lay by my feet, but he also wanted to say a quick hello to you guys. As I was saying, Tara Lynn is one of my really good friends, and it's funny because we used to be acquaintances more so on YouTube. We both knew who each other was. We both were colleagues in this space, and we both, of course, admired each other and loved each other's work. I've been subscribed to her probably since I first found her. When Mel passed away, we sort of connected really quickly as closer friends. When you're kind of going through something so incredibly heavy, it's almost natural to gravitate towards someone that also has that same experience. And because both of us loved Mel, it's sort of like we knew, like subconsciously, that we could trust each other because she loved and trusted each of us with the friendships that she had with each of us. So for me, I know that I felt so comfortable getting to know her because Mel already had her stamp of approval on Tara and I knew how close they were. So super exciting that now we have become friends. We've helped each other through this. We've also just gotten to know each other. And I know why Mel loved her because as I'm getting to know her, I'm like, of course they were such close friends because Tara is an amazing person and very easy to love. So Tara's going to be doing a look with the Tiny Marvels palette as well, and she's also going to be testing new makeup on her channel too. So I can't wait to see what look she comes up with. Definitely go and subscribe to her. She also does great reviews, like I mentioned, and she works really hard at her channel. She's always posting the latest and greatest new releases, and I love her perspective. I think that she's so honest. She's very talented at makeup, and now she's one of my really, really good friends. So of course, I think that you will love her as much as I do. Now let's get on to the tutorial, the get ready with me, the trying new makeup out, and show you how I created this beautiful look using Tiny Marvels. I want to start with eyebrows because that's always what I do first, and I've been using two products pretty consistently. I've been using the Huda Beauty Balm Brows for like the pencil part, just kind of filling in some sparse areas, and then I've also been using the Legendary Brows from Charlotte Tilbury as well as the Benefit Gimme Brow, kind of like interchangeably. And I just got new Invisalign, so I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but this is round 2 of Invisalign. I'm not super pumped about that, but apparently that's possible. So anyways, this is like the thinnest pencil I have ever seen with brow products, which is why I love it. I'm gonna have to use my small little mirror just for the more detailed work. Shade I'm using here is medium brown. Although it's a little warmer than my brow hair, it's the closest in her line. Otherwise it gets a little bit more on the ashy side or it gets a little bit too red undertoned, if you know what I mean. I love how it's got a brush on the other side, but basically what I'm doing is just filling in, especially at the arch and outward, brushing up the hairs as we go. So I do underneath as well. You can see it just gives it a little bit more of a sharp edge. There's a little bit more sparseness up in here. And then I don't typically do a line on the top. I've seen people do that where like there's a bottom and a top. I just do the bottom. It just seems to look a little bit more tidy for me. If I do the top, then it looks a little bit too like a block brow. You can kind of see on each brow where I've left like no pencil marks up in here on both sides to sort of keep it looking nice and hair-like, because that's another thing that I learned. If I go really close with the pencil, it sort of starts to look quite blocky. And I still do that from time to time because I'll forget and I'll be like, oh crap, it looks a little bit too blocky now. But keeping that first little bit fluffy is always really good. So now I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows. This is an interesting one because the spoolie on this one is really nice and small. So I really like that. And I basically just brush. So I start kind of mid to the arch, so I don't have any pigment that's too heavy on the beginning side of things, right? And then once I'm close to the end, I'll brush a little bit upward. So just like that. It more so just keeps everything in place, adds a little bit of pigment, but nothing crazy. So same thing on the other side here. And then just a light brush upward. This is a very special video because we are talking about the Sydney Grace Restock with Mel's palette. And I pulled this out and I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hard to see it. I'll be honest. I thought I was gonna be a little bit more further along than this, but I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I was dreading pulling it out of my drawer because not only do I want to celebrate it, so I want to do this, but selfishly, I'm like, oh, this is just so hard. So anyway, this is the beautiful palette here. It is all of the artwork from her tattoos, basically, is the front cover of this. If you guys don't know, that was sort of her story behind it. She was obsessed with like bugs. She loved bugs, which is the total opposite of me. But she loved them. She thought they were super interesting. So there's so many on here you can see. And the vibrant color is totally her art that she had with her tattoos. They were so colorful. A lot of inspiration behind that in this. And then we have the palette here. So here is the beautiful palette that she did with Sydney Grace. I love it. I'm going to treasure this forever. And like I said, it's hard seeing it right now because I know how much work she put into it. I know how beautiful and well performing these are. But first, let's do primer. So once again, Smashbox 24 Hour. I am just putting that all over the lid on both sides. This does a great job of smoothing, prepping the lid beautifully so there's no like uneven surface for the powder or your brush to skip, you know what I mean? Like sometimes if you've got a little bit of a dry patch, it can skip a little bit and then cause an interesting mix of intensities as you're blending your shadow, right? That's something that I've always noticed. If I have something that's a little bit drier and then my brush skips and I'm like, like what happened there? And then it's hard to blend the two together because you've got like a heavy dense patch and then another heavy dense patch with a bit of a split in the middle. So I try to make sure everything is nice and even and moisturized. Whether you use a base like this or a concealer, it's a good idea to do something unless you have no texture and you're just blessed. You know? First shade I'm going into is Tree Hopper. It's right here. It's a beautiful light beigey brown matte. I'm actually going to use the Wayne Goss 16 for this. It's nice and fluffy. And this one picks up a ton of pigment, so just be careful with that. But I'm just placing it over the lid here, blending outward in windshield wiper motions, super easy. These mattes blend themselves, honestly. I feel like they're just so smooth, so creamy. I did do a little bit of some light touch-ups with this, just a couple layers to make sure everything was even. And for hooded lid gals like myself, make sure when you're applying shadow that you also fully relax your face. You can see sort of where the shadow hits when you're fully relaxed because that's what's going to be like how your look's going to be finalized and when you present it to the world. If you're like this the whole time, like how I do, I just kind of like start this way so I can get like the most surface area, but then like you have to relax to see where it settles because for hooded lids, part of that sort of gets like hidden, you know what I mean? So making sure, Mel actually taught me this trick, making sure that you're fully relaxed so you can kind of see. So right now I'm fully relaxed. I'm gonna brush a little bit into the upper corner here on both sides. You wanna have very little remaining on your brush when you're doing your outer edge. So there's a little bit of a diffusion there. That is something that is super important. I really like the shade Fire Butts. Can I show you guys? It's so pretty. It's right here. I remember when she named it Fire Butts. And then right here is Scarab. That's a beautiful one too. I think I'm going to put both in this look. But I'm going to start with Fire Butts. I'm going to pick it up with a finger. This is basically like a beautiful metallic. Can you see how stunning that is? It's like liquid metal. Using a fluffy brush, this is the Jumbo Blender from Sonia G. And I am just starting to blend this outward because look how beautifully opaque that is. Blending it into the existing brown. This Fire Butts shade has just a smidgen of like a green to it. It's so pretty. I'm just so obsessed with it. So this is a lovely shade to put over top. So this is a beautiful shade in this palette. One of the standouts in my opinion. I just like really was impressed with this. You guys know I love shimmer though. So I'm definitely biased, but this is a super beautiful one too. Next I want to pick up Scarab. Scarab is actually on the darker side of things. It is a duochrome shade right here. Look how deep that is. Woo, but it's also so super foiled and beautiful. I'm actually going to go in with the outer corner of the lid for this. Same brush, the Jumbo Blender from Sonia G. And you guys, you know I'm going out of my comfort zone for this. Normally I would just pick a pink look. I'm curious what Tara's going to do because we haven't told each other what we're going to put on our eyes. But do you see how that adds a really beautiful iridescence? With this brush pickup, it keeps it nice and light too, and you have complete control of how much you want to add. We're adding a little bit of the Marvel shade, which is that beautiful pink, in between. Unconventional for me. So this one is also with the Sonia G. You can see I'm actually currently testing her new Sky Eye set. So this is the soft shader. Love this one too. So you can see the beginning of the like firefly shimmer, the Scarab shimmer, a little bit of the pink there as well. I want to go underneath the bottom lid there, and I think I might use Marvel for this to kind of amplify that pink. Let's see. I hope this isn't a mistake, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to use my small handheld mirror for this. Interesting. I'm going to see how this looks with lashes and liner, but so far, what do you guys think? I think this sort of looks like spring butterfly vibes. I don't know. It's really, really exciting to finish off this look. I'm going to go in with my magnetic lashes again. I've been continuing to test these, and these come with their own magnetic liner, which is supposed to attract the lash. When you actually see the promotion for these, it's almost like they like have this pull to them, like they just stick to the liner. I haven't experienced that myself. It's more of like a light, like attractiveness. Like it places and holds, but it doesn't like really have a force behind it. So I'm going to be careful here and do my liner and then place the lashes. And I go one eye at a time. I do not do this quickly. Clipping my hair back for this step because I want to make sure we get everything. I'm going to actually prime the skin with the Olivia Palermo Prime Time Illuminating Serum. They sent this to me in PR probably a few months ago, and I have been testing this one as well. It has quite a nice iridescence to it, so you don't want to go too heavy-handed with something like this, but it sort of reminds me of like a similar product to Magic Cream, something that has a, you can see how illuminating that is right off the bat, right? Or like Magic Filter, Flawless Filter, sorry. You know, something like that, that just adds a bit of a luminosity to the skin if like overused can look a little bit too bright. So just so you guys know, be careful with that. But this is a nice one. It doesn't, well, a slight scent, but nothing too crazy, like sort of smells like sunscreen to me. smooths into the skin beautifully, and you can see how you've got a little bit of a luminosity there, right? Like, it's so beautiful. Very heavy in the hand too. I was really hoping that my Lisa Eldridge foundation would come in before I filmed this video. It's still stuck on the DHL truck. I don't know if it's coming in the next couple of days. So I had to get this second option, which is actually a foundation that has gone viral lately. This is the Clé de Peau Beauty Foundation. So this is the first Clé de Peau foundation or makeup product in general for me. This is the Radiant Cream Foundation, and I picked up the shade 020 Light Medium Ochre. We'll see. I got this from Nordstrom, and you know, I feel you with my UK friends and Australia friends that do not have return policies. When I blindly order foundation online, I am just like anxious that it's going to match me. So you guys do that all the time. I can't even believe that. So this is the gorgeous container. I'll be honest, it sort of feels like there's nothing in it, but it's supposed to have, let's see, 21 milliliters. Okay, so less than other foundations. Usually most will have about 30, so it's a little less than a typical product. So I'm gonna try with both a Beauty Blender application as well as a brush application. For foundation, I'm using the BK Beauty 101, which is a very popular brush for foundation. So I just like to put it at the top of my hand here. Okay, this might work. This might work for shade. Fingers crossed. Oh dear. Okay. Not bad, Jenna. We can work with this. We can work with this. It'll be okay. Okay. I think I would have preferred this to have a little bit more slip to it. I feel like it is like stiff. For color matching, we're doing not too bad. You can see that like to my neck, right? It's not terrible. I actually think I did pretty good with the guesstimating. Now, I'm going to try on the other cheek with a brush application. I'm going to put a little bit on my hand again. Maybe a brush is a little bit better to buff it into the skin. We'll see. It is stiffer on a brush too, I'll be honest. Like, I don't notice much of an improvement from the brush versus the sponge. I think it just speaks to the product itself. It is a little stiffer, and I'm more so talking about, like, you know, one of my favorite ride or dies is the Lemare Soft Fluid, but that one is legit like velvet. Like, it comes out of the container and is just like, oh, like as you're applying it, you're like liquid gold or liquid velvet all over your face. This is one that's stiffer. Like, am I supposed to shake it, or is it too cold, or what's going on? I know that we're getting some snow here in Winnipeg. It also has a scent, by the way, which is fairly significant. It smells like perfume. Not as bad as Guerlain, but still significant nonetheless. I actually watched a few TikTokers talking about this. They're like, this makes your skin look so beautiful. I'm like, yeah. It doesn't blow me away though. I don't know, like, this is an expensive foundation. Clé de Peau, right? Top of the line for luxury. I just feel like it's not going on that smooth. Like, do I need to exfoliate, or what's going on? Let me know if you have this foundation and it works for you, like, amazingly. Is there something I'm missing here? Because I do want it to work. I think I dropped like nearly $200 on this bad boy, so it is going to stay. I'll see. I'll see if it just looks better as it settles. Next step is concealer. I do want to add a little bit more concealing to my acne, a little bit in the corner of the eye. I'm using the Lancome Teint Idole. This is something that I knew I was getting in PR. I actually got a notification of that, but it took quite a while to get to me. This has been out for a while. It's got to be Canada problems, honestly. That tends to be the case. But I'm still very thankful for Lancome for sending this over. Continuing to test this out, especially in the inner corner here. And I like to put a little bit here as well, but not here. Does that make sense? Like, just a little bit here and then a little bit here to lift, but nothing all around the bottom lid. I do have a little bit of creasing in this area, so I try not to highlight too much of it and let powder and product cake on. Next, we're gonna go in with a new powder I picked up from Chantecaille. This is not a new powder, but it's new to me. This is the Chantecaille Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. And this is what it looks like here. It looks like it's kind of like a sun. So super, super pretty. Taking my Lemare brush now and using that same powder all over the face. This is supposed to blur the skin. Does it smell? I know something smells. I can smell fragrance. I don't think Chantecaille is a fragrant. Nope, it's not that. Off of whatever was on my brush beforehand. I definitely need to clean my brushes. Now, I want to do bronzer next. This I'm going to use actually, this isn't a bronzer palette, but it's a bronzer palette for me because my skin is on the fair side. This is the new Ambient Lighting Volume number 3 from Hourglass. And this is catered to deeper skin tones for the ambient lighting powders. But I actually use this as a eyeshadow, and then these two as sort of like a bit of a bronzer situation. So that's how I use it, but I basically wanted to test it to see if it was good quality, first of all. And I was like, how am I gonna make this work? And basically, it's really nice for a bronzer. I love the ambient lighting finish on the skin. I'm using the Marc Jacobs bronze brush, which unfortunately is discontinued now. I hope when they come back that it'll come back because that just looks so stunning. Moving on to blush. I'm actually going to try, because a lot of you guys gave me your feedback on the Natasha Denona Light Face Palette. I will be doing a full review on that one as well in a hits and misses. But this is the Glam Face Palette. You can see how absolutely reflective that is. But it's interesting how some of the feedback has been that the blush hasn't actually been a very big hit amongst you guys. So I will be testing this blush today. I'm curious because some people are reporting that there's not a ton of pigment payoff, and that would suck. That would absolutely suck. I'm gonna pull some up and see what we're looking like. I mean, it's there, but it's light. Yeah, we're getting there, we're getting there. This is just one that has to be probably like 2 layers. Seems to be translating pretty well on me. I want to try the highlight as well as the new Hermes highlight. This was also on my to test list for such a long time. So this is the beautiful Permabrass Hermes highlighter. I'm also going to try the Star Glow highlight from Natasha Denona, which I know is quite shimmery. This one right here. So we're going to be kind of glowing from the sky here. But I'm going to try first the Star Glow on one cheek. Oh my gosh, you guys. It picks up pigment like crazy. Oh my goodness. The Hermes is on this side. I'm curious which one's going to be better. I'll let you know in a second. This one has more of a diffuse glow, you can see. This one is more blinding. You can see that difference there, like very, very much. They're both quite shimmery, and they both do have a little bit of that texture enhancing. It's not a deal breaker. I'm just looking in the mirror here. I actually am one that has some texture up here sometimes, and it doesn't seem to be that bad up close. So it is absolutely there. This is not something I'm going to be wearing for this kind of heaviness, but it's just to kind of test both of those shades out. Okay, before we get to lips, dare I say I'm going to get even more glowy. You guys saw me test this in my try-on haul. This is from, oh, Iconic London. This is the setting spray, Prep Set and Glow setting spray. Very scary when you see this in the fluid itself. It looks like it's going to be a liquid highlight that you just spray all over yourself. But no, one little light spritz is what, like I just did, and it gives you that glowy goddess, everything melting into the skin feeling. So I'm really, really excited for that. For lips today, I'm going to be using the BK Beauty new lip liner and lipstick. And this is going to be a really nice combination with this eye look and with the skin and everything. This is the Everlast lip liner in Sweet Pea, and this is a lovely one. It has a really nice slant to it as well, so you can get into the Cupid's bow. And how do I do this? I have a little mirror ahead of me, and I also have a more fine-tuned mirror. So I'll use that one. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to line and fill. This is a really rich color. I absolutely love it. This is like the third time I've used this one now, so that's exciting. And I'm also going to layer over with Passion lipstick. Oh, I think and I hope that I made Mel proud with this one because it's so, so pretty. You can see the dimension in the eye here. You can see how the lip is a little bit more bold, pops that out. This sort of looks like a spring look. I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to be testing out the Lawless Forget the Filler glosses here, and I'm just going to layer a little bit on one of them. I think I'll do Velvet because Velvet is the deepest one, and I'm curious. Some people have said that they love them and some people have said that they don't. So I have some friends that love it. I will see what this looks like. Oh, you know what it is? It's tacky. That's what it has a bit of a thickness to it. So over top, I mean, now my lips look juicy and gorgeous, and I'm scared I'm gonna land on my Invisalign here, so I have to be careful. But I will also test this plain without a lipstick and a lip liner. It is minty. It's not stinging though. Like it's one of those like plumping glosses, but it's certainly not like the lip injections from Too Faced. They're quite stingy for me. That's not it. It feels a little bit like minty, maybe a touch of a sting, but nothing uncomfortable. So looking at how everything is settling now, I'm really, really happy with this look. Very happy that I matched the foundation decently, considering I had no clue what I was doing. But I do feel like it's sort of getting a little dry in here. So when I use it a second time, I will see how it works with another primer, perhaps. Something that maybe I need to do a bit more skin prep to make it look its best. Thank you so much to Tara Lynn for collabing with me with this video. I am so happy to have become so close with her. Super excited for the restock of the Sydney Grace palette. And let me know your thoughts on the style of this video. Should I do more get ready with me's where I'm doing kind of step-by-step process? Until my next one, guys, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.